Hey guys, I'm Akash and I welcome you all on Pabbly. So the topic for today's video is how to add contacts from Google Forms to MyPipeline. Now suppose guys you are using Google Forms to collect contact details or registration details from your leads or some kind of users and you want to add those users to your MyPipeline CRM account as a new contact. Now to do so, you have two different methods. First one is manual method by which you will process the each and every form submission data which you receive from Google Forms and add those users manually as a new contact inside your MyPipeline CRM. But this manual process is very much time and energy consuming. So to avoid this problem, I came up with an awesome automation by which whenever you will receive a new Google Form submission, the user who submitted the form will be automatically added as a new contact inside your MyPipeline CRM. Interesting, right? This was my second method to do so. So this question arises how we are going to do this automation. So to make this happen, we will be using Pabbly Connect, which is an automation and integration software. Now what is the actual step-by-step process to use this and set up this automation? To know this, you have to come with me to my screen.
So as you can see, here we are on the Pabbly Connect dashboard. To reach this dashboard, you just have to go to your browser and search for Pabbly, pabbly.com/connect. And as you reach to the landing page of Pabbly Connect, you just have to click on sign up free to create your free Pabbly Connect account in just 2 minutes. Or if you already have an account, you can just click on sign in and log into account and reach this dashboard. So after reaching the dashboard, click on create workflow and give this workflow a name. For example, I'll name this workflow as Google Forms to MyPipeline. Google Forms to MyPipeline and click on create. And after clicking on create, we can see that our workflow has been created over here. And in this workflow, we can see two different windows. First one is trigger window and second one is action window. So triggers and actions are basically those two concepts, those two principles on which this whole automation works on, where the trigger says when this happens and the action says do this. So let's begin with our trigger window, and here in choose app, we will search for Google Forms. Because we are receiving the data from our users or leads via Google Forms. And after that, in trigger event, we will select new response received. So as we select our trigger event, Pabbly Connect gave us a webhook URL. Now using this webhook URL, we will get the results of form submission data from Google Forms inside Pabbly Connect. Now how to use this? To know this, I'll take you to my Google Forms account. So this is my Google Form account and this is the query form which I have created to collect some queries from my users or my customers. And I want that whenever a customer or a user fills this form, I want to add those people or those users inside my MyPipeline CRM. So first we have to capture the response of this Google form inside Pabbly Connect, and then we will send the same data to MyPipeline. So to capture this data, we must know that the responses or the data of form submission from Google Forms is stored in a Google Sheet. So before we go ahead, we just have to come to a form, scroll down and make the last question of the form as required. Now why we are doing this, I'll tell this to you later in this video. So after switching this last question as required, here we can see that we are in the questions tab of our Google Forms. And after that, on the right side, we can see a responses tab. Just click on responses. And after clicking on responses, we can see that there is an icon over here on hovering which it says create spreadsheet. We just have to click here and then select create a new spreadsheet and click on create. So basically, as I told you guys, the responses of data of form submission from Google Forms is stored in a Google Sheet. So this is the Google Sheet in which the details or the responses of this Google Form will be stored. Now we have to send the data from this Google Sheet to Pabbly Connect. To do this, we just have to go to extensions, hover on add-ons and click on get add-ons. As we click on get add-ons, we can see that there is a window has been opened here, that is Google Workspace Marketplace. Here in search app, we have to search for Pabbly Connect webhooks. Pabbly Connect webhooks. So as you can see, I have already installed the add-on of Pabbly Connect webhooks inside my Google Sheets. You can also install the same add-on from Google Workspace Marketplace inside your Google Sheets. And after installing this add-on, don't forget to refresh your Google Sheets. Now after refreshing the Google Sheet, we will once again go to extensions and you can see that the Pabbly Connect webhook option can be seen here. After hovering it, we can see an option named as Initial Setup. Just click on Initial Setup. And after clicking on Initial Setup, it is asking us for two things. First one is webhook URL, which Pabbly Connect gave us, and second one is trigger column. So first in webhook URL, we have to paste the same webhook URL which Pabbly Connect gave. So we will copy this webhook URL from here. We'll go back to our sheet and paste it over here. Then it is asking us for trigger column. Now you must be thinking, what is this trigger column? So trigger column is basically the last data entry column of our Google Sheets. So as you can see in background, the column F will be my trigger column because it is the last data entry column where my data consists of. So I'll select the trigger column as column F. For your reference, trigger column C, D, E, F, G, H, any column could be your trigger column. Just make sure that it is the last data entry column of your Google Sheet. After entering the trigger column, we will click on Submit. Then once again, we'll go to Extensions, Pabbly Connect Webhooks, and this time we will select Send on Events. So after selecting Send on Events, now we have successfully connected our Google Sheets, or basically the sheet where the responses of Google Form will be stored, that sheet with Pabbly Connect. Now we just have to go back to our Google Forms and make a form submission over here. So I'll just click here, Send. I'll just copy the link of this form, and in an incognito tab, I'll paste the link. So this is the form. We will enter the details of a dummy user. Okay, so I have entered the details of a user, and then the name of this user is Karan Singh. The email, this is the email address, this is the mobile number, and this is the query which he has posted. Can we send WhatsApp message from Google Sheets? I'll just click on here on Submit. So as we click on Submit, the form has been submitted from a dummy user, and we have submitted the Google form. And we can notice that the response of this Google form is already saved here or stored here inside the Google Sheet. And because we have connected this same Google Sheet or a Google form with Pabbly Connect, the response of this same form submission will be captured here in Pabbly Connect as well. So here we can see that in response received, we have received a response, and this is the response of the same user whose details we have entered while making the form submission. So this is the name of the user, Karan Singh. This is the same email address, same phone number, and the same query which we have entered while submitting the form. So the step 1 of setting up this automation is successfully completed, guys. We have successfully connected our Google Forms with Pabbly Connect and collected the form submission data inside Pabbly Connect. Now we have to send this same data to MyPipeline so that we can create a new contact over there for every form submission. So for that, we'll scroll down and come to our action window. And here in action window in Choose App, we will search for MyPipeline. MyPipeline. And then in action event, we can see that there are various action events available here. Out of all these, we will select Create Contact. Click on Connect and select Add New Connection. Now we have to connect our MyPipeline account with Pabbly Connect. And to do so, we need a token over here. So to get this token, to get the location API key or the BA token, which is asked here, log into your MyPipeline account, go to Settings, Company and API key. So guys, I'll take you to my own MyPipeline account and tell you over there that how you can get the token, get the MyPipeline account token over here. So you just have to go to your MyPipeline account dashboard, and after reaching here, on the left side, we will scroll down and come to Settings. After reaching on the settings page, we will scroll down, and here we can see that the API key of our MyPipeline account. We just have to copy this API key, go back to Pabbly Connect and paste it here in the token field and click on Save. After clicking on Save, we can see that we have successfully connected our MyPipeline account with Pabbly Connect. Now after the connection, it is asking us for some details of a new contact which we want to create, which is first name, last name, full name, email, phone number, and address, and the rest of the things. So we have received these same details from our Google Form response, first name, last name, email, phone number. So basically we have to map or enter the same data over here. So we will use a process named as mapping. To map this data, we just have to click on this field named as first name, and from the drop down we can see that all the responses which we have received from Google Forms can be seen here. So out of all those responses, we will select the response of the first name over here, and the first name of the user who submitted the form will be entered. Then we have to repeat the same process for the last name. We'll click here. From the drop down, we will select the last name. For full name, first we will click here. From the drop down, select the first name, add a space over here, and then add the last name. For email, we'll map the same process. We will use the same process of mapping named as email and phone number. This is the phone number. So rest of the details are not mandatory, guys. So I am just ignoring these details for now. But you can use the same process of mapping to add the same details from the form submission response as well. So after entering these details, we will just scroll down and click, and here we will click at Save and Send Test Request. So after clicking on Save and Send Test Request, we have received a response over here, and this response seems to be a positive response to us. This response tells us that the user named as Karan Singh has been created as a new contact inside our MyPipeline account. So let's just check it. We will go back to our MyPipeline account, go back to the dashboard, and here we'll go to the contacts page. And yes, guys, as you can see, the person or the contact named as Karan Singh is been automatically created inside my MyPipeline account. So this is the name of the user, name of the contact Karan Singh. This is the phone number and this is the email address. And same details, guys, which we have entered in our Google Forms submission. So we can see that we have successfully created this whole automation and it is working fine. Now we just have to test this automation in real time. For that, we'll go back to our Google form. I'll just refresh this form and we will enter the details of a new user over here. For example, I'll enter the details of a user named as Heather Khan. Heather Khan, email address. Enter the phone number. And then scroll down and enter a query. Can we integrate Facebook lead ads? This is the query of a user and submit the form. So form has been submitted by the user, guys. And now we will go back to our MyPipeline account and just refresh this contacts page. And yes, guys, as you can see, automatically, instantly, user has just submitted the Google form and we can see that the same user with the same details is been automatically created inside our MyPipeline account with the same as a new contact. And here is the same details of the user which we have entered while making the form submission. So we have tested, guys, in real time that the automation which we have created in this video is working successfully. Now let's just understand in brief that what are the steps we have used while making this automation. So first we have created a workflow inside Pabbly Connect, and then we have in the trigger window, we have selected Google Forms and the trigger event was new response received. Now using the webhook URL, we connected the Google Forms and Pabbly Connect, and then by making a dummy form submission in our Google Form, we have collected the response of a form submission inside Pabbly Connect as well. And in the second step, we have mapped or sent the same response or same data which we have received from Google Form to MyPipeline to create a new contact. So not just these applications, guys, you can connect plenty of other applications using Pabbly Connect. And yes, guys, one more thing. In the description box below, you will find a link of this same workflow, the clone link of the same workflow which we have created. By clicking on that link, you can clone this same workflow inside your Pabbly Connect account and use it for free.
If you need any kind of help or have any queries, you can ask them on forum.pabbly.com, and you can check Pabbly Connect's pricing at this link. So if this video was helpful to you, you can like this video, don't forget to share it with others, and to keep getting such content on automation and integration, you can subscribe to Pabbly. Thank you, have a nice day.